Hey crew, Conrad coming at you with the news, events, and weather for November 29th, 2023. Up first, the news. And why do I have the Google Maps opened up with a satellite view of Glamis and the surrounding areas? Because we had a pretty bad wreck within this last week that I want to mention, as well as talk a little bit about Sand Highway, as well as flooding and why these types of things happen. Okay, so let's jump in. So out of respect for the family, I'm not going to post pictures of the vehicle that was wrecked. This is more about bringing to your attention the dangers that are at the dunes, especially on Sand Highway. People think it's nice and fun because it's flat, got all those whoop-de-doos, and you want to go across it like you're Ivan Iron Man Stewart. I do it too, right? But it's also being aware. So what ended up happening to these folks is right here at Osborne Park, they got across the road, and everybody does it. I don't care what you're driving, ATC, Odyssey, Sandcar, side-by-side, we all do the same thing. We get on the gas and we start hauling ass down this road. So here's Competition Hill right here. And what you can see is there's a drop-off right here. So we're flying, and if you're not within that little like horseshoe area up here at the top, which there's usually traffic going westbound, so you stick to the right, there's this huge ledge and drop-off right here, and you can see it in this photo right here. Competition Hill's over on the left, Highway 78 is on the right, and then Osborne Overlook Road is right there. So you come across this, you're hauling ass, chances are somebody's coming up this direction, so you move to your right side of the road. This is the ledge that this fella flew off of at a high rate of speed. I don't know how fast it was, but it was fast enough. Flew off, did a nosedive right into the ground. We call that a lawn dart in the off-road world. I mean, I'm kind of preaching to the choir on this one, but this is also, you know, to educate and entertain, right? This is the education part. We've got a lot of new folks coming out to the dunes that don't realize this stuff, and that's particularly why I'm sharing this. Be careful on Sand Highway. Not only that, this happened a few years ago in a sand car. Let me show you. So the guy in the sandrail, he probably left Competition Hill. I don't know, maybe he was just traveling down Sand Highway. So let's follow along his course, because this actually almost happened to me. So we have this valley between the dunes right here. So Glamis Store's over on the right. There are some major drop-offs right here because the way the wind blows, and then this valley right here. So this was years ago. This fella went off one of these or one of these, and these are huge drop-offs. I'm talking like 25, 30, 40, 50 feet. They're huge. Drove a sandrail, cruising along right off the edge, did a lawn dart in a sand car right down on the front end. It was a beam car. Severely injured both of them, and I'll leave it at that. That's it for the issues with this where you really need to be careful. I want to jump into something else on this too, and what causes some of this stuff to happen is the rain. Check this out. So let's travel back to Competition Hill. So we've got our 78 right here. Here's Competition Hill. And I'm going to scroll in on the old Google Maps because I want to show you something that was absolutely terrible. So we like doing this, right? This is like steep, flat, steep, flat. You can drive across this little road. It's really fun to get hauling ass across there. But here's the problem with that. Do you see this? There is drainage, and there's a drainage ditch right through here, and it completely washed out the road. And this claimed a few people this weekend. Let me show you. So I don't know who this fella is. I just found this online over the last week or two. People have been wrecking on this. So as I mentioned, we're going down this road, and it's washed out. Here's the road leading up to Osborne Park. It's this flat little trail. Remember I was telling you. So it comes down, flat, down. So this is the down, flat, down. This culvert got completely washed out from a storm that blew out the road. People are going 60 miles an hour across here. It's completely blown out and just smashing headfirst into this side of this drainage ditch, basically, is what it comes down to. You got to be so careful on Sand Highway because of these drainage ditches. Because not only did this guy wreck here, let me show you something else from a few years ago. So take another journey with me. So Competition Hill, this is where it flooded out, where everybody was wrecking this last week or so. Let's go east and let's scroll in. So you can see Glamis Store, Cement Flats, or Glamis Flats, I guess is what they call it. I always knew this section as Garbage Flats, but they changed the name. I forget what it is. So here's the first problem. Do you notice the green coming through here? Do you know why that's green? Because it floods through here and people don't realize it. So let me scroll in just really quick, and then I'm going to show you some photos. There are drainage pipes going under the 78, that line this whole area because the water comes down, ramps up, gets stuck, and then blows through. What does it look like when you're camping there? Check this out. Actually, let's start here with the BLM Jeep. Now, they're actually not stuck. They just backed their Jeep in here after it was dry to give you an idea of what happens. So I mentioned Highway 78. This is the south side, and then the north side is where the water builds up and then blows out this pipe. This is Sand Highway. Again, you come ripping through here. I know another fella right here in this section. Beautiful Alumacraft. Big V8, the whole 9 yards. And you know how safe an Alumacraft car is. And he rolled it through here. He got sideways and upside down. Car wasn't really damaged, but anyway, I digress. That was in this section. Check out the next photo. Remember that pipe I was showing you in the last photo that was behind the BLM Jeep? There it is, right there. So Highway 78 is running just behind this, and that pipe is blowing the water out into the flats area where a lot of people camp. Actually, wait till you see the next photo. And this fella drove right into it because you can't tell, especially at night. You're just cruising along, it's wet, and then it drops, boom, right into that hole, destroyed this fella's truck. This isn't the first one. Let me show you another one. Now, this is a completely different truck. This happened in 2007, and believe it or not, I was actually there when this truck dropped in there because we could see the taillights sticking up, and we were up at the Glamis store area and came riding down to see what was going on because there was a bunch of people down there with their flashlights lighting this up, trying to get this truck out. So now, looking at this photo, here's the 78 up here, eastbound to the Glamis store. The pipe is over here on the left, and this is actually a next day photo. This is what I was talking about in the last one. This water just blows this out, and then you end up driving right into it. The problem lies in the fact that, don't drive into the water, but then the next day when this is dry, look at what it ends up causing. Here's one of the reasons why I don't particularly like to camp in those bushes or those trees that are right there. Check this out. And here's why. This is actually the same event in 2007. We got there after these people had already been notified. Highway 78 is right back here. That truck, that F-250 or F-350, is buried nose first right here in the water, and then the trees area was getting completely flooded out. Now, fortunately, somebody had already gone and told these folks, hey, because they were sleeping. This was like midnight, 1 a.m. Get your stuff together, get your bikes out of there, get them loaded up on your trailer, and get the hell out of here. And they did. They were actually able to hook up, tow, and get out of there. But it was just an absolutely huge mess. So let me show you that F-250 the next day, what ended up happening. The snowcat had to come out and pull this out. And not only that, I couldn't find the photos, but the snowcat was unsuccessful in its bid to yank this out. They had to bring in a huge piece of machinery with a crane on it to actually rip it out of the sand because it was so stuck in there. You don't want this to be you. Okay, so I'm going to jump back to the map just so I can show you where all of this happened. This is where the camper was. This is where the truck was. Again, be extremely careful on Sand Highway. It's actually marked as 15 miles an hour on Sand Highway. Does anybody follow that rule? I mean, not even me. But I kind of know the terrain, and I know the area, and I know to watch out for. And I know. Okay, I couldn't help it. I just sounded so dumb in that last section. Okay, moving on. Because I actually study the wrecks and the accidents that happen out of the dunes to try to learn from them. And hopefully with that knowledge, sharing it with you, you won't run into the same circumstances. Okay, so that was it for the news and the safety portion of the news. Let's jump into the events. So this was the only thing I could find for folks in Arizona because I didn't see anything else in any of the other states. This weekend, what do we have? Dirt Expo, brought to you by Rugged Radios, returns to Westworld of Scottsdale, December 2nd and 3rd. So here's some info. Off-Road Sand UTV Expo is back. Trophy trucks, UTVs, overland vehicles, toy haulers and trailers, MX quads, and all the accessories you could ever want. And no, Sandcar Buy Sell Crew is not vending at this event. But I'm going to go check it out, and I'm going to go see where I want to put the booth for next year because we're definitely going to set it up. Look it up online. You'll get all the information there. Let's jump into the weather for the Imperial Sand Dunes Recreation Area this weekend. So what do we have? Wednesday through Sunday. Looks like lows in the 40s. Boy, it's going to be cold out there this weekend, so make sure you bundle up and bring a lot of firewood. If you don't have firewood, you can go over and see the Big Belly Crew on Vendor Row, and they've got a whole big pile of firewood that you can pick up, get it by the, stack, or what is that? A wheelbarrow? I don't know. Go check out Big Belly Crew on Vendor Row for all your firewood needs, if you don't bring it out. What are we looking at for precipitation? Not likely for any rain. Let's see what we've got for wind. Not going to be very much wind at all. Looks like it's going to be absolutely beautiful and an epic weekend at the dunes. After Thanksgiving, there's actually been a reset. The wind blew and all the tracks are gone. Well, almost all the tracks are gone. Okay, so otherwise, let's go ahead and close this out by saying thank you for watching. See you in the dunes.